Well, welcome, and really excited to have Mark Olson joining us today. And I asked Mark to join me for a conversation just to chat a little bit about physical well-being. I think it poses a challenge in the quarantine life that we're living. And Mark and his team at Athletic Mentors are among the best at what they do. So, Mark, welcome, and maybe just do a brief introduction of yourself and Athletic Mentors.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Brian. Really interested in the topics that we're going to discuss. Athletic Mentors has been around for about 20 years now. And to summarize what we are all about is we are a well-being and human performance company. And we work with essentially everybody, whether it's a 8-year-old soccer girl, NHL hockey player, or someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s is trying to stay fit. We just are here to help people reach their true potential and their goals, whatever they might be.
Okay, awesome. And Mark is a good friend and real respected colleague. We've done some coaching together, and again, I can attest to the quality of work that they do. He's trained a lot of leaders in our region and across the country. So Mark, what does quarantine life look like for you, and how are you staying fit personally?
For me, a couple things. Well, I'm fortunate enough to have my own gym, so I can still, get my strength training in, which is definitely helpful. But I'm finding myself riding my mountain bike a lot outside. Just getting outside, I think, is really important right now. So between those two things, I'm holding my own.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, just getting outside has a tremendous impact on physical health, but also just our spirits too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So as we think about leaders, I've chatted with a lot of organizational leaders, CEOs, presidents, and almost all of them say that this season has been one of the most challenging seasons of leadership for them. Not only trying to manage some of the business impacts of maybe impacted revenue or adjusting to a remote workforce, but one of the biggest elements that they're challenged with is how to support their people during this time, and really making sure they're looking out for safety is obviously a huge area of focus, but also looking at the overall well-being of their people, making sure they're staying connected, and mental health and all of those different elements of well-being that we all kind of recognize. But specifically relative to physical well-being, what do you see as some of the risk that leaders should be aware of in supporting physical well-being for their people during this time of stay-at-home orders, quarantine, layoffs, and even what many believe the new normal is going to be, where we have a larger extent of folks that are working remote?
A lot of it aligns with what you just said. That for me, when I look out at just the population as a whole, the biggest risk factor can be summed up in one word, in my opinion, and that's stress. And in our world of coaching, stress is stress: physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress. The body, it doesn't care where the stress is coming from. It treats it all the same, with the same reactions chemically in the body. And so that's my biggest concern for, and being a business owner myself, it's the biggest concern for my people, as well as all of our clients and everybody else out there. The uncertainty is a huge impact on that stress level. The lack of routine or new routine. Those that have had great routines for physical well-being, those things got just shattered with this. So it's coming up with new routines. Eating badly as a comfort or a crutch, I think, is a huge issue right now. Personally, find myself eating more Doritos than normal. So things like, I think those are the three main things is, and they all culminate back to increased levels of stress. And the good thing, or the important thing to remember, is one of the best ways to combat stress is just physical fitness and getting out and moving and exercising. I mean, it's been proven to greatly reduce stress. So those are my biggest concerns with the population, from everybody, from my clients to my staff, to myself, um, and getting everybody back into some way to be in a routine to stay physically healthy, and moving and exercising and using those tools to keep our stress loads as low as possible during these times of just amazing amount of uncertainty.
Sure. Really good. So if I'm a leader and I've got an organization of however many people that is, from 2 to 20,000, what are some of the tactical things that I might do to help promote that physical activity, creating routines, and really helping to manage that stress, or at least create an environment to support my people in that area?
So I think a couple of just key things that we have to be able to do, and then if leaders can structure their businesses so people have the opportunity to do these things, I think it's going to help. So one thing, I think everybody should be doing something every day, not 3 days a week, not 4 days a week. Every day we need to be doing something. That can be a 15-20 minute walk, a 15-minute stretch routine, or more, but something every day I think is key. And then if you can do it in the morning, I think that's really, really important. Before all this happened, I still try to push my clients to train in the morning if possible, because one, it sets you up for a great day. It can be tough to get going in the morning, and it doesn't necessarily want to be the first thing you're going to do, but if you do it, you feel great, sets you up for more energy for the day, and it's done. I mean, I can't tell you how many times personally and with my clients that get busy in the morning, don't get my workout in, I'm going to do it later, and later just doesn't come because we're inundated with work. So I think it's really important to do something every day, and if you can, do it in the morning. And eat as healthy as you can. I think that is that's a big one right now. I think I've got clients, I'm dealing with that issue that, we've been trying to get some weight off some people, and we're making great progress. And then this happens, and that diet thing is a huge one. So if leaders can help address at least those first two, making sure people have the ability and flexibility in their schedules to get some exercise in every single day. And again, it doesn't have to be an hour. You don't have to go out and slog 3 hours on a bike. 20 minutes does a world of good. So if we can structure the daily routine in the business to allow that to happen, and if we can allow it to happen in the morning, I think those are two very simple, in my opinion, key things that we could put in place to really help people get on a routine to stay physically moving and physically fit.
Okay, awesome. Really good advice. So Athletic Mentors does a lot of work in the corporate fitness space. What does that look like now, and what do you see that looking like as our economy begins to reopen?
Well, fortunately for us, we implemented a remote corporate wellness platform about a year ago. And we did that for a couple of reasons. The main reasons were giving corporations a well-being program that could be delivered to everyone in their company, whether they are at corporate headquarters or out in a branch or wherever. So we could reach the whole organization. Two, the remote platform helps get people moving that are afraid to go in the gym. There's a lot of people out there that just can't get in the fitness center. So if we deliver a remote platform that allows them to start training at home or in their office where they have a little bit of privacy, we found that engagement went up, and we were starting to pull in that middle 80% of the people that we really want to get moving. So that's why we launched it about a year ago. And now it's obviously vital to have it.
Sure.
When this all happened, the corporate wellness clients that we had that weren't on the remote platform, that we were delivering on-site services, obviously they shut their fitness centers down, and they looked at us and said, what are we going to do? And we said, we've got a solution. And they looked at us in awe because it was ready to go. So we were fortunate to move everyone to that remote platform. So with the remote platform, we can deliver live streaming classes. We can deliver a variety of workouts and content through an online portal and through apps and all sorts of other devices. We can create challenges and other ways to keep people engaged. And we have what makes us a little unique in the way we deliver the remote platform is we still have a very strong human coaching component to that. We use some custom apps to drive that communication and hold people accountable through that communication. So this whole remote platform is how we are delivering a service to the corporate world right now during the quarantine. And as far as the second part of your question is, what do I see going forward? I certainly see the remote delivery of these activities and concepts being probably the forefront of what it's going to be like. I do think and hope that we will still be able to do on-site classes and things like that, because I think it is important to have that human connection if you can, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be 40 people in a gym space. It's not going to be 20 people in a TRX class. I just don't think we're going to see that for, I don't know, maybe if there's a vaccine, we'll get there, but that's a good year plus out before we're going to go back to what used to be a big class. So even for our large corporate clients, even if we do get back on site, I think the ability to deliver to the masses on site is going to be tough to do. And so I think this remote platform is going to be center stage for what we're going to do and what I think is going to happen in our industry.
Sure. So a couple of things that I think are really important, and I've seen your platform, and you talked about some of the barriers that people have to being physically fit, and whether that's going to a gym or just not being in an environment where they have the social pressure from coworkers or others around them that your corporate fitness approach with the remote tool really addresses. And I think anytime you're looking at physical well-being, looking at the barriers and trying to reduce those is a key thing. And that's going to be different for every organization, but your program hits on a lot of that. And then the other thing I think is super, super important is the coaching element of it. There's a ton of research that talks about how ineffective incentives are for long-term behavior change, right? They can help short-term stuff, but the long-term stuff really is imperative that you have some element of accountability and coaching to that. So I think that's a really critical piece of any kind of physical well-being effort to help support that long-term behavior change. So Mark, it's been a great discussion. Really appreciate it. Where can people learn more about Athletic Mentors and what you're doing in the corporate fitness space?
There's a couple of ways. If you want to see more of what we're doing in that space, our website that's specifically designed for the corporate wellness space is amwellnesscoaching.com.
Okay.
But you can always you can call us anytime at 269-743-2277 and just reach out, and we can tell you what we're all about and hopefully help you out.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.